Doesn't show quite so much up on here. So good evening on the evening of the 3rd of August 2020, with the full moon rising across the Bristol Channel. We can just see one of the planets up there, Pluto, no, not Pluto, Saturn or Jupiter. There's an extraordinary cloud above the moon with a sort of shadow. Anyway, so I have the planets Jupiter and Saturn in this poem called Perusia. Can I bring the torch? Thank you. So from this book, Perusia, Love's Light, where I'm looking at the healing consciousness discerned from the gemstones cited at Revelation 21, and looking at healing in the body as a consciousness, as the oneness of love created in us in mind, body and spirit, and looking at the definition of faith as the ultimate positive mindset for creating good things in accord with Hebrews 11:1, faith being the assured expectation of the things hoped for, the evident demonstration of things not yet to be held. So we must always look for the good and seek the good and believe in the good. So I'm going to read to you this poem, Perusia, followed by Light Beings, which is looking at ascertaining to light energy through light and colour, and I'll follow on with a few poems. So, yeah, Jesus Christ is coming soon. Perusia. I think when he comes again, the sky will turn soft pink, with a golden haze and wild magenta dashes. There will be warmth in your heart, my heart, and everyone's hearts will beat as one with love. When he comes again, will we be ready? Will we have prepared our bodies? Can we reside in his love without betrayals, greed and war? Can love reside with fear? When he comes again, are we ready to embrace him? I am ready to soar beyond the moon and stars, perch on Jupiter's moons and float the rings of Saturn and drop to Earth in a flash. Sapphire, blue, planet Earth. Water we are all made up of, hydrogen and oxygen, elements we share, molecular patterns harmonizing, uniting life. When the sun shines, water evaporates into clouds, and in every cloud there is a rainbow. Rainbows join you and me with the sky and the sea. Can you see them? Auras, emitting colours. Waters reflecting frequencies of love's light, of love. With his love can all be rainbows. With his love can all be light. Because light beings, E equals mc squared. So in this poem, I'm looking at the equation of Albert Einstein and applying his formula to ourselves. Because to create energy in our body, we need to be able to conquer the fear and attain to the love and work within our passions and our loves. And we enter then into the Sabbath vein, where everything is, it's not like work. So, when we can attain and work with that love and work for altruistic well-being for everybody, then we resonate. We resonate with love. And when we resonate with love, then we feel much happier, much joy, more patience, more peace. All the fruits of the Spirit, working with the goodness, kindness, mildness and patience, and having the self-control not to hurt or sin or abuse another person. And we're recommended to walk by Spirit, and there we find the love, joy, peace and faith and happiness, which is really what we're all seeking. So light beings, E equals mc squared. We are light beings lighted with love. When finding our soul's passions in every delight, we are light beings sent from heaven above. finding our heart's wings when white like doves, speaking our truths, expelling the darkness of night. We are light beings when lighted with love. Saying our truths to speak of heaven's love is like the sun shining, new light. We are light beings sent from heaven above. We are light beings ignited by love, lighting us with light thoughts that are bright. We are light beings when lighted with love. Physical mass times the speed of love is physical mass times the speed of light. We can be light beings from heaven above. Physical mass times the speed of love resonates love's energy for attaining to light. We are light beings when lighted with love. We are light beings sent from heaven above. This next poem is called Chakras and Saints. So I'm looking here at the golden halo that we see icons and paintings of the saints. And the golden halo being gold, in my analysis, it's the least tarnishable element. And it's the most positively charged element. So if we apply that to our body, then the positive mindset, so back to Genesis 2:17, do not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and bad because you will positively die. So when we learn bad knowledge, when we learn of bad things, then we get anxieties, we get fear, and we become negative and fearful into a downward spiral, and that stops us attaining to the glory of love. It inhibits us and it blocks us. So we must not positively die and to attain to the faith. And when we can attain to that faith, then we're more positive. We don't have fears. We don't have anxieties, and that's when we attain to that golden love. And again, from the golden rule to love God, which means to observe the commandments, which are the laws for the basis of laws for the law, in order to attain to faith, which basically means that we have peace and security and no fear, so that we can believe in the good. We can have that positive expectation and hope that good things will come to be. And that's when we attain to the Christ consciousness. So the gold being the most positive element, and oh gosh, that was just a shooting star. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Wow, just came down there. Where was I? So gold. Oh yes, and the gifts of the three kings. Okay, so we've got gold, frankincense, and myrrh, which when we apply those to the healing consciousness. Gold again being the most positive element, so we have to be positive to attain to faith and love and life and joy. But frankincense calms the sympathetic nervous response and helps us and puts us back in the parasympathetic nervous system. And myrrh being the most healing oil, antiseptic, antibacterial, and who knows, maybe even it's got antiviral properties. I'm not sure. I have to check that one out. But so in order to heal, we have to be clean and cleansed in our mind and body in order to attain to spirit. And my hashtag is love is not a cortisol. So I think both of the planets are visible there now. Okay, so the next poem, again looking at the way that we think. I think, therefore I am, the quote from René Descartes. So, religions are a way of thinking. We are what we think. I think, therefore I am. If we do not think, what are we? I think a holiday is a holy day, a whole day free from enslavement for cultivating the whole spirit of joy. I think, what are we without love, without positivity? Do we positively die? And if so, then what did we become? So, the power of our thought is everything of how we live our life, how we feel in our bodies, and must be positive. I'll just show you this poem now. So scaffolding. This is looking at, you can see on the right side of the page, turning a negative to a positive. Okay. with hope, love and faith. Scaffolding, supporting the matrix, the horizontal negative crossed with the vertical positively clamped in place. Nuts bolted, screwed together, forming 144,000 squared, making 288,000 triangles of hope, love and faith. The only foundations needed for building the new paradise, for renewing Eden, heaven on earth, where happiness can positively dwell. And sonnet for a loving God. If God had a healing method, what would it be? Would it be based on science and chemistry? Chemistry not the laboratory kind, but chemistry born in our blood out of mind. How can mind do that, you may ask? And I will say it's a complex task. A complex task it may be to attain to thoughts that are heavenly. It seems to me we have lost the divine that gives us the power to love all the time. In whom does it make a difference to create? Let me assure you there is no mistake. Only God's love teaches wholeness of mind. Only God's love teaches man to be kind. And in that poem, when I'm talking about the wholeness of mind, when we go into the stress response, then the frontal cortex of the brain is shut down, and all the energy goes into the hindbrain and the physical response, where we're charged by adrenaline, and which is good for a short amount of time. But our bodies are put into stress by modern living in so many ways, from pollution, from stress, from traffic jams, from time, from strained relationships, from just so many pressures on people these days. Separation anxiety. The mothers and babies are separated these days, and really, as mammals, we're designed to be together as families, and it just seems that we seem to be being disconnected in as many ways as possible. So I think it's time for a reconnection of the family, reconnection of love, reconnection to nature and our environment, and start to learn to love and care, and also to unite as people of faith in that one love, and even people who don't have religions, or even some people are against religion, but by their fruits we know them, and blessed are the peacemakers, for they are all children of God. And there's many people who are living peaceful lives, doing good things, contributing to society, and we need to look at that oneness where we all work together peacefully and unite against the corruption in the world, and the things that are hurting others. So nice to see some cleansing going on, and may the world be restored to the beautiful heaven on earth that it is meant to be, in accord with the Lord's Prayer, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation. Yes, media, do not lead us into temptation. And deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. And Jesus Christ is returning quickly. It is the time for his spirit of love to be embodied in us. And I propose that has an endorphin profile in our blood, in our nervous system, when we're into the parasympathetic nervous system, allowing our body to look after itself and not be divided with stress. And when we have division in the body, division of cells is not a good thing. So the end is the start of the beginning of the word endorphin. The end of the quest for heart smiles in love, mimicked by opium posing as opiates, killing pain, knowing pleasure, addictive, seductive, seducing the lie. The end, ending enslavement to cortisols crying for the end. The end, the release of the endorphins, the dopamine, the serotonin, the oxytocin, the anandamide, binding the blood in marriage with love which is always positive. The endorphin is the end. The end, the beginning of the word endorphin. His love in our blood. The end is the beginning of freedom. The end is the beginning of his promise. For look, I am making all things new. Have a wonderful day, and hope there's not too much background noise. God bless, and let's watch these changes take place. Amen.